Right, Artcurial's auction in Paris, their headline sale has concluded. Normally, we'd go through every single lot. Instead, we're going to change it up. Here are the top 10 cars that have caught my eye and the 5 themes to take away from each of those. Let's jump right in. Right, first of all, this 1998 Honda NSX T. T was standing for Targa, open top version of the NSX here. 60 to 80,000. Actually sold for 143,000 euros. When we come down here and have a look at the prices, this manual example sold for very good money. We've seen examples sell for 300 plus over in the States, but this price here is a European record for the example. Really strong values out of the NSX-T. Why? Well, it's got a similar theme to this. A 94 Ferrari 348 inspired. This is an ex-Jean Alesi car, estimated at 100 to 150,000, sold at 143,000 euros. It is a new world record for the model. The ownership history, no doubt helping it further north. The takeaway here on the 348 and the NSX, manual examples from the 90s. Drivers' cars are gonna only be more desired in the future. See more and more world records broken with both of them. Another car that caught my eye was this 190 SL 1959 example here. 100 to 150,000 is the estimate. Sold, including fees, at 125,000. Why? Well, originality is the main driver here. The hardtop that the car was originally delivered in still comes with the car, and it still is presented in its original crate. There's loads of patina on this car. Owner's manual still come with it. Service logbook, production sheet, toolkit, jack, crank, loads and loads of details still retained from this car from new. When we come in here, 190 SLs have softened off like many cars in recent years. This example, along with the other one that sold in Paris, are starting to nudge these back up. Is it happening because they're a 190 SL? No, I actually think it's purely down to the originality of these cars. People are willing to pay a premium for that. If you wanted another example of originality paying, here it is right here. This 300 SL Gullwing, 2 to 5 million euros on this. NSL engine, Rudge wheels, as you can see on those wheels there. If it has that option from factory, these Rudge wheels, it can add 6 figures to the car, no problem whatsoever. Now, how does that price compare? Well, a normal Gullwing is anywhere in the region of 1.3 to just over 2 million, depending on the condition that it's in. So why has someone paid 4.4 million euros for this car? Yeah, the spec is really good, but purely it is down to the originality of that car and ultimately pride. The ability to tell a story, the ability to go and show the documentation of that car from when you first bought it, and whatever the next owner chooses to do next, they will either have one of the most original Gullwings in the world, or they will be able to resurrect that car back to factory specification like new. Whatever they choose to do, they've got a one-of-a-kind item there. 4.4 million euros is incredibly strong money. It smashes the previous world record. Previously, that was 3.2 million. That was a perfect example sold out in the States. Now we're up at 4.4. A great result there. Right. These next two are... The theme here is Lamborghini cool. I mean, any Lamborghini tractor is great, particularly this one CTL. The estimate here was just super punchy to start with. We've seen 2 examples of this sell before. Both of those were under 15,000 euros, and both of them sold in America. Artcurial asking 30 to 50,000 was a big ask. Unsurprisingly, not sold there. Another example of Lamborghini cool is this Miura P400. Estimate was 1.62 million euros. Ended up selling for 1.4 million euros. Why have I highlighted it? I think it's absolutely great value. This is a highly original car. Again, presented in its original colours. Had big restoration work done not too long ago. 1.4 million. We've seen examples sell up to 2 million. Most of them, though, are in this region. But for a really original car in its original spec, that's ticking a lot of boxes and seems a good value buy. Talking about a future good value buy moves us on to our 2 next cars. It's LP640 Murcielago Coupe, 29,000 miles on the clock. Now, the most important bit here is this. Upgraded to a 6-speed manual gearbox. If we look at most of these LP640s, they are selling for anywhere between 150 to 400,000. However, the two big examples you see here is a manual roadster at 1.2 million and a manual coupe at 772. Those are factory done manual cars, incredibly rare. This is a obviously later transition from automatic, or their 6-speed e-gear as they call it, over to manual. 350 to 400,000 doesn't seem too unrealistic. Oh, let me be more specific. I think we will look back in 10 years' time. I think that is a very realistic ask for a car that is the poster car for many people, like people my age, who had these on their wall. This will be seen to be a missed opportunity going forward. Talking about potential future classics is this 2006 CGT, estimated at 1.3 to 1.5. It smashed through that and sold for 1.647. Reason I'm highlighting this is when these Carrera GTs had their recall, prices seemed to soften in the market. That recall now is concluded, and all those cars have been remedied by Porsche. They did a very good job and took care of a bunch of other upgrades for most owners as part of that recall. However, this may be the sign that prices are starting to tick back up again. A new world record was set in the US for this example, 2.6 million euros for a low mileage car. This has broke through its estimate. I wouldn't be surprised after that softening during the recall to see CGTs start to climb once more. And then the final two cars that have caught my eye was this Bugatti Type 51 X-Works car, estimated at 1.3 to 2 million euros. Why did it catch my eye? Well, really simply what these cars were going for previously. You look back in 2016, Type 51, great history, big names attached, bigger names than this car has attached, but that was a 3.5 million car back then. This struggled to reach 1.3 million. It just shows the softening for this period of cars. Those 30s pre-war cars are really, really softening. Won't reach 1.3, but 10 years ago would go and reach 3 million. Finally, talking about a car that this is less about a softening story, more about an estimate that probably was just too punchy to begin with. Pizzarini 5300 GT Strada Alloy, 1.3 to 2 million euros on this. It didn't sell. Let's go and have a look at previous examples. First of all, the estimate is above the world record we've seen for that car. That was over 10 years ago that example sold. If we come in here, we can look at two recent examples. One was with RM. Again, 5300 GT Strada Alloy sold for 855,000. Another one sold with RM, 736,000. How the estimate has got to 1.3 to 2 million, I am not quite sure. However, if you know, let me know down in the comments below. Also, let me know what you think of this type of video. But those are the 10 cars and 5 themes to take away from the auction with Artcurial in Paris. Peace.